Welcome back to the channel. You know my name. Look up the number. This video isn't going to be a review or a demo, and I'm not here to tell you that digital is better than analog, or that you should sell your amp and pedals, or that this thing will change your life completely. This video is basically just me documenting a decision I didn't expect to make based on what actually worked for me on real gigs. This is a decision that I wasn't very quick to make, and I certainly wasn't happy about it. I made a video not long ago about transitioning from tube amps and pedals to a Gigboard Headrush, the digital amp modeler. That wasn't a ditch your amps and pedals and all your cool gear video, and it wasn't a digital is the future video. It was about one specific situation, playing in a band with in-ear monitors, to a click, and not much room for inconsistency. And what surprised me was this. After a few gigs, I realized that I liked what I was hearing from the digital setup more than my tube amp and pedals. That really bothered me, because I didn't want it to be true. I have all this cool gear, and you've been told your whole guitar life that tube amps and pedals are the way. Nothing beats that tone. And yet here we are. And here's the thing that nobody really wants to talk about. Most tone conversations ignore monitoring completely. What you hear in front of your amplifier is not what you hear in your ears. And what you hear in your ears actually affects the way you play. Your dynamics, your confidence, your consistency. This stopped being about the best tone and started being about, can I hear myself every night without fighting the rig? What you hear in your ears affects the way you play. If you don't feel inspired to play, you're certainly not going to play anything very inspirational. So it's important that what you hear in your ears moves you. So if you play with in-ears, or you've had to change or adjust your rig to playing with in-ears or a click, I'm really curious. I'd really like to know your experience with that. After the first couple gigs with the Headrush Gigboard, I didn't run out and get anything immediately. I sat with it. I paid attention to what worked and what didn't work, and I started to realize that what I was chasing wasn't really tone, it was more about workflow. After a lot of research and hemming and hawing, I finally settled on a Fender Tone Master Pro. I really thought that the layout of it and the interface, the ease of use, it felt really natural. I like to touch buttons and twist things, and this satisfies that. It has a very big touch screen that it shows your rig. Everything's real convenient. You can tap a pedal. We're not going to get into all that. That's for another time. This isn't me saying that the Fender Tone Master Pro sounds better than a tube amp. It's not me even saying that it's better than the Headrush Gigboard. And it's definitely not me saying everyone should do this. This is me saying, in this band, in this situation, the monitoring setup, it made my life easier. But there's definitely trade-offs. You lose the romance. You don't get to crank up your tube amp and, really feel the air move. You can't really get away with that anywhere. I have a Fender 212 combo, and nobody lets me off at the leash. Also, another reason why we're here. Anytime I take a Fender 212 combo to a gig, I get neutered. Snipped right off the bat. At some point, I had to admit something that made me a little uncomfortable. My preferences started to not really line up with my reality. I can love amps, I can love pedals, and still choose the tool that works best for the job. How do you feel about giving up feel for consistency or consistency for feel? Where do you land on that, especially if you're playing live, regularly? So as of right now, I'm not done learning how to use my new Fender Tone Master Pro. I'm not married to it, and I'm not immune to changing my mind again. But for right now, this works. And I trust it because it earned that trust on stage, not on YouTube. And that's the standard that I trust. At the end of the day, this rig isn't about tone or technology. It's about showing up and doing the job and not fighting your gear. For me, this does that. But if this setup stops working for me, I'll change it. Until then, I'm done arguing with the results. Thanks again for watching. We'll see you later.